Just outside the Stewart Creek trailhead. Today and tomorrow, we're going to be hiking Colorado Trail segments 20 and 21. For a full trail guide of both of these segments, you can check the link in the description below. So segment 20 here starts off just down the road from where you ended 19. In private land here, which is pretty cool. It's pretty much like an island of private land in this La Garita wilderness. Segment 20 is 12.7 miles, 3,100 feet of elevation. Segment 21, 14.8 miles, 3,100 feet of elevation. As you can tell by my heavy breathing, we're at a high elevation and lots of climbing. You can tell by the leaves here, fall is in the air. Just about 3 miles in, nothing much to report on. Just been working our way up towards the slopes of San Luis Peak and that ridge line. That'll be your big climb of this segment. Just about 7 miles in here, and we're going to start the big climb up to the saddle of San Luis Peak. I believe it's over this way. Juno's drinking a lot of water. I'm cranky because I hate being hot, and Jackie's in heaven because she's a normal temperature. A gorgeous, gorgeous look back where you came from, basically around there, through there. Up ahead, we're just slowly working to gain this little saddle, which is pretty obvious right in front of us. If you wanted to add San Luis Peak, it is by far the easiest 14er to add on the Colorado Trail. It's only about 1.5 miles and 1,500 feet of elevation each way, of course. So that's certainly an option, and I'll show you that junction in a second. It's funny, I was the one riding the struggle bus earlier, and now everybody's switched seats. I'm driving this damn thing up the mountain. Jackie's all kinds of fucked up. Juno's hot, struggling. I feel great. It just sucks that I'm the only one who feels this way right now. Wow, what a tough climb. But on the saddle of San Luis Peak, the southeast saddle, I'm pretty sure. Holy crap, it is beautiful up here. Give you some quick views behind me. Oh man, tough climb though, really tough climb. So if you did want to continue and add San Luis Peak, you can just basically follow the ridge as I'm showing you here. As I said, it's about 1.5 miles. It's not technical at all, but it is a good chunk of change in terms of elevation and mileage to add on to what you already have. If hiking a 14er is not your thing, you're just going to continue this way and eventually work over to San Luis Pass, which is kind of right in there. I always talk about this in the full hike guide that I link in the description below, and that many people don't read, but I always talk about water sources and camping for the Colorado Trail specifically. Water sources, great. You really are not going more than a couple miles without finding one, if that. Camping, once you climb this pass, or you know, whatever you want to call that saddle, there really isn't more camping in this segment. So the next 4 miles basically to N21. You could camp up on that ridge back there, which would be really cool if the weather was good. After you gain that little high point, you're gonna descend all the way into there before going up to there. Final climb of the segment here. It's going to switch back up this San Luis Pass right there. And that's where segment 20 of the Colorado Trail ends. I don't usually point out campsites just because it's so hard to make plans around them or point them all out. But this one in particular, at 11.15 miles in to this segment, pretty awesome. Tell you what, the views on this segment do not disappoint. And it's really a preview of what's to come. We are really excited for the rest of this trail. Leaving this beautiful section behind. Wow, the views. Leaving those views behind and more views here. So we're just going to continue straight for a little bit before dipping down to San Luis Pass and officially ending this segment here. I'm going to interview you because I'm really cranky. Jack, what'd you think? Segment 20, now that we're officially done with it.
Definitely a big adjustment with the climb from the previous couple of segments, but once you came over the top of that pass, it was beautiful, and it's just been views since then.
Well, there you have it. Segment 20 in the books. Probably the hardest 13 miles we've done in a long time. And to start off segment 21, we have a 700-foot climb in the first mile. Can't wait for that. 20 in the books. On to 21. Leaving segment 20 behind here and working our way up on 21. As mentioned, it starts with a big climb, about 700-800 feet, at which point it'll mellow out for a bit. You're gonna have a lot of rollers. So just to remind you, this segment's about 14.7 miles and another 3,100 feet of elevation gain. So hopefully today we're gonna be aiming to go another 4 miles or so and call it a night there, leaving us 10 tomorrow. If you've been wondering, shit, where has the drone been this whole video? It's because these two segments have about 7 miles that you can actually fly in that are not wilderness areas. And I always try to fly responsibly. I know people don't like the drone, and you have your right to that opinion, but I always at least try to stick to the laws, unlike so many people on the internet. But it's tough because I end up carrying all this weight for like 30 seconds worth of shots, but for me it's worth it. I just love the angles it provides. But of course, please, 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 always fly responsibly and know where is legal and not legal to fly. If you've been following along my Colorado Trail videos, you've heard me comment about how the trail just likes to be long and huge switchbacks. Well, down south here, they just flush that down the toilet, because this is just straight up. Cue Travis Scott. Holy crap. I don't know what's going on, but this segment and the last one are incredibly hard so far, at least for us. Me, shit. And this climb here is just, I mean, it feels like 8,000 feet, not 800 feet. Significant moment here because we're in the shade for the first time in like 10 hours. So basically we are rounding this mountain here, 13,111, and that'll be the end of your first climb. Of course, after that you probably lose 3/4 of the elevation you just gained, only to regain it again in the next mile. So it's a roller coaster. As tired as I am, look at these views. You got San Luis Peak in the middle, You got Stewart Peak back there, Baldy Alto. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh man, smoky up here, but we're up over the biggest climb of our day today. We got a couple left. If your legs were looking for a break, this is not where they're going to get them. After you gain that pass up there, you just head straight down. Beginning our last climb of the day. Got to go from some creek down there to 12.1, so about 500 feet and about a half mile, so it's going to be steep. But after that, we only have under a mile until our camping area. Another absolute grind of a hill here. Segment 21, we're not even 3.5 miles in, and man, does it deliver the steep ass climbs. Doesn't look like much on paper, but whew, your legs feel it, especially with a heavy ass bag on. These are brutal. And once we gain this, we lose 600 feet on the other side. So your legs just do not get a break. Everywhere we go is more remote. This is just crazy remote when you think about it. It's probably best not to. Camp for the night. Juno was just chilling. Jackie's over there making dinner. And you can't tell, but maybe you can a little bit. We got some sweet views. See you in the morning. Juno is giving us signs that a bear is in the area. Not ideal. Well, an eventful morning and night, really. We had a huge bull moose prowling through our camp area, maybe 100 yards from our tent, making all kinds of noise right as we were eating dinner last night. And then this morning, just woke up, hit the trail, and Juno started doing her little bear thing that I showed you. She's usually not wrong, so there's probably either a bear or mountain lion in the area. Just can't see it. Seeing the views, we're just climbing up here again on segment 21. So next up, I'm gonna gain that saddle right there. It's worth noting that from this point on in the trail, you'll have no forest, no shelter. So sun, bad weather, etc. gonna be your enemies for the next 10 miles or so. Came from back there, gonna work all the way over to there. This guy's hiding in plain sight. Look ahead, a cool chalk colored rock formation down there, and then to the left, the mesa, and that'll be where you spend about 3.5 miles on this segment. Looking behind, you have the beautiful San Juans just covering the skyline. Last little pass of the day here, and now we're heading down to the snow mesa. If you're not familiar with what a mesa is, it's basically just a huge flat landmass. This one has some water along the way, no shade, and it's about 3 miles long. So definitely want to make sure the weather's good, make sure you're hydrated, and prepare for a lot of sun if it's sunny like today. Mesa is definitely not flat. Lots of little pockets of elevation gain. Whew. And it's hot. This is one of those it's impossible to put into perspective situations because it's so pretty, and unless you had a life-size lens, you just can't do it justice. So you can see off to Wetterhorn and Uncompahgre, you can see Red Cloud and Sunshine and Handies. It is just absolutely gorgeous down here, and even though it's very monotonous, it's just really, really pretty. I also find it so ironic that the book says that this is some of the most remote parts of the Colorado Trail, and yet we've seen more people today, yet alone this whole weekend, than we have probably all of our other segments combined. Just crazy. People every couple minutes, everybody's getting it in before the season ends, I guess. Finishing up the mesa here, have about a half mile of descending before hitting tree line, and then I think you continue a slow descent all the way down to Spring Creek Pass. So just about 2 miles to go. A little over a mile to go until we're done with segment 21 here of the Colorado Trail. Just gonna give some quick notes. So the Beauty A+, easily a top 3-4 segment for us so far. 21, 20 right up there as well. 21 definitely more pretty, also more difficult. A lot of rollers, so you're constantly gaining and losing elevation, which when you look at the numbers on paper, it's like, oh, 3,100 feet, that's not a big deal, but it's constant gain and loss. Both of these segments really are really exposed to the elements. So if it's hot, if the sun is blasting, the weather's been beautiful for us, no clouds, but it also means that we've basically been hiking in the sun for 2 days straight, which can really take a lot out of your body. Very beautiful, really excited for the segments ahead here, and these two just absolutely delivered as well. You do have a dog like we do, plenty of water, take advantage of all the little streams in the mesa, along the segment in general. There's plenty of water sources. And then camping, I'll talk more about that in the full hike guide linked in the description below, but it can be tricky at times. Colorado Trail back to its true colors. To end this segment, there's like 85 switchback, pretty much at the car now. So gonna wrap up these two segments here, segment 20 and 21 of the Colorado Trail. If you're new to my channel, check out the other Colorado Trail videos. We have every segment and maybe more by the time you watch this. We're doing the whole thing, so binge away. If you don't want to watch the Colorado Trail, that's totally cool. There's so many other videos, hikes from Colorado across the country, so hit that subscribe and bell button not to miss any future hike related content. For a full trail guide, aka way more information than I cover in this video, you can check my website, thevirtualsherpa.com, and that's linked in the description below as well. As always, on behalf of Juno, who's very tired,
Jackie, who's very tired,
and myself, Jackie, speaking on camera, holy crap. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure. 21 in the books.